Super Eagles. Waiting they happen, waiting they shell, we want know. Shena Winch, I been Laden. No matter their plan, we go still they fly. Walele, walele, where you do? Walele, walele, my brother, where you do? Walele, walele. That was just how we rolled last night at the Rabat Stadium in Morocco, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria cruised to a 4-1 victory after 120 minutes of football against the Panthers of Gabon in the first leg of the World Cup qualifying playoff match. The Super Eagles of Nigeria came into this game with a 4-4-2 formation as set up by the team manager, talking about Eric Chell. In goal was Stanley Nwabali. The left back was Zaidu Sanusi. The right back was Bright Osai Samuel. The centre back pairing was Calvin Bassey and Benjamin Franklin. The midfield pivot, talking about the two midfielders in the center, was Wilfred Ndidi, that plays as the deep-seated defensive midfielder, and Alex Iwobi plays the number 10 role. In the right wing was Samuel Chukwu Eze, and in the left wing was the current African Footballer of the Year, talking about Ademola Lookman. And behind the striker, the number 8 role was Akko Adams, and up front was the Nigerian talisman, the Super Eagles striker, the star boy, none other than Victor Osimhen. Beautiful selection, I must say, that the manager actually made. But in my preview prior to this game, I actually put the center pairing of Calvin Bassey and William Chus Ekong. And the right back, I actually went for Benjamin Frederick. But it was good to see the manager actually make this selection. I think in my prediction, I actually got 9 out of 11 from the selection the Nigerian Super Eagles head coach actually made. So the Super Eagles started the game with a very high tempo, and it was actually good to see how the Super Eagle came all out to approach this game from the blast of the whistle to the very end. It was a total dominance of play by the Super Eagles of Nigeria, controlling and dictating play against the Panthers of Gabon. The Super Eagles, couple of minutes into the game, had a very beautiful cross, and that was connected with a strong, powerful header with Victor Osimhen that collided with the Gabonese goalkeeper, and that ball went wide the side of the post. The medical team checked on Super Eagles striker, talking about Victor Osimhen, but then the player was up and still good to go, as it was still very much available to take part of the game. Couple of minutes later, the Super Eagles of Nigeria got a first corner in that particular game. Ademola Lookman took the cross. Victor Osimhen again with a powerful header, but the Gabonese goalkeeper connected to that header with a powerful, strong right hand to prevent the ball from going in. The Super Eagles of Nigeria continue to press high, not giving the Gabonese national team any breathing space in order to make any threat of attack, as they were forced to play a low-seated block against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And so the game went on. Series of chances came across the side of the Super Eagles in that particular game, but then we couldn't break the deadlock in the first half of that particular encounter, as the first half of that game ended goalless. So, coming into the second half of the game, the Super Eagles still wanted to maintain the same tempo they actually played in the first half of that game, but with an improved attacking threat. And the head coach of the Super Eagles, talking about Eric Chell, went at the 60th minute, made a like-for-like substitution, bringing out Samuel Chukwu Eze and Ademola Lookman, and introducing Moses Simon and Chidera Ejuke into the particular game. The Super Eagles of Nigeria actually went on to be more attacking minded, with full concentration, not giving any lapses at the back to create any loophole, even while they continue to press and attacking the Gabonese side. And in the 78th minute, it was a defensive blunder from the Gabonese defense line, as Akor Daniel picked up a loose ball round the Gabonese goalkeeper and slot it into an empty net. And that was how Super Eagles of Nigeria took the lead in the 78th minute. It was looking like it might just be the winning goal that will give the Super Eagles of Nigeria the needed ticket to play the final against either the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon or Congo DR. But then, and the head coach was trying to ensure that defensive-wise, the Super Eagles of Nigeria makes no mistake in order not to concede any goal. But it was never it, because at the 83rd minute, the head coach actually brought out Akor Adams, the goal scorer for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and introduced Frank Onyeka, adding more strength in the midfield in order to strengthen also the defense line. But the Gabonese side actually began to show some little threat coming out, knowing fully well that it's almost end of 90 minutes. They have nothing to lose if they go all out. The game might just be that 1-0 or we get something. And in the 89th minute, a cross from the right to the left side of the pitch connected with Mario Lamina. And Mario Lamina, in my opinion, because what I saw there, intended for a cross, but that actually took a deflection from the Super Eagles defender into the net to beat Stanley Nwabali. The Panthers of Gabon got the equalizer, level up at the 89th minute. Added time into that particular encounter, as Super Eagles were still pressing on, looking for the winning goal in that particular game. And a great opportunity, one-on-one, connected Victor Osimhen with full confidence, thinking that Victor Osimhen would have buried the game in regulation time before the final whistle. But what happened? The Super Eagles striker placed the ball wide and it went out for a goal kick, with what was just almost the last touch of the game. And the center referee from South Africa sounded the whistle and it ended 1-1 in regulation time. Into the extra time, the first half of that extra time began and the Super Eagles of Nigeria continued the same tempo of play, attacking minded but with full focus in the defense line with high concentration, not losing focus off the ball. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria continued to press in that particular encounter, and in the 97th minute, what a true pass from Wilfred Ndidi to locate Chidera Ezuke, and Chidera Ezuke calmly slots the ball past the Gabonese goalkeeper, and that was how the Super Eagles of Nigeria took the lead in the first half of the extra time. And at this point, it was the Super Eagles of Nigeria 2 and the Panthers of Gabon 1. The Super Eagles of Nigeria never relent, never slowed down, did not even go back to defend that lead as they continue to press, pushing the Gabonese national team backward to continue to sit deep and creating more problem to their defense line. And in the 102 minutes, a dazzling drive from Benjamin Frederick through the midfield located a true pass to Victor Osimhen. And this time, no mistake from the Super Eagles striker, from the Super Eagles talisman, from one of the best top striker in the world of football today. And Victor Osimhen calmly slots that ball into the net to secure the Super Eagles of Nigeria lead. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria lead the Gabonese national team by 3-1 at this point in time, as Victor Osimhen finally gets its goal the night. So the Super Eagles of Nigeria at this time has secured a victory in the first half of that particular encounter. But then it wasn't over, as we continue to press on with some kind of attacking football play. The connection between the players, the link-up of play from the midfield to the attacking line was top-notch, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria actually came into this game. Mean business. They knew what they were actually coming to face, because if we take a look at the run of qualification from the group phase of the Gabonese national team, I mean, they came into this game high flying from the group phase qualification matches. The only unfortunate thing that happened to them was they found themselves in the same group with the Ivorian national team that were in red hot form, and that was why they actually end up finishing second in their group, playing in the playoff. But another unfortunate thing was they were paired against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are currently parading lots of superstars in our national team currently. And the players came out all out, blazing and looking very hungry to get the ticket from the African Series playoff. So, in the 110th minute, it was a beautiful pass from Chidozie Awoziem to Victor Osimhen, who chased the ball. Behind him was two Gabonese defenders. Victor Osimhen controlled the ball with his chest, take the ball with his right foot, with strength and energy, beat past the two defenders and slot the ball to the far end, to the far right corner of the goalpost to make it 4-1 and get his brace last night. And that was how the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated the Gabonese national team by 4-1 in that particular encounter. A couple of players in the Super Eagles national team actually came alive into the game. I mean, credit to Wilfred Ndidi that actually captained the team that night. Wilfred Ndidi and Alex Iwobi, their connection in the middle was top-notch. The way the link-up of play from the midfield to the attack line was excellent. I mean, it was good to see how Alex Iwobi have been driving the midfield alongside Wilfred Ndidi. And in the first half of that particular game, I must say, kudos also to Samuel Chukwueze. Drop deeps, try to connect play with the midfielders, start the attack from the rear, going forward, full of pace and energy with his dribbling ability. But in that first half, it ended goalless. But then, it was good to see how the Super Eagles of Nigeria, every player came all out with one purpose, and that purpose was to secure the victory in order to book a place in the final of this playoff. So it was actually good to see the Super Eagles of Nigeria doing what they know how to do best when it comes to African football. But one player we must caution, and I must say it, is Stanley Nwabali, the goalkeeper. The primary aim of a goalkeeper is just to make saves in between the stakes and keep the game alive for his team. Whenever a back pass is given to Stanley Nwabali, he only has one thing to do. Either he passed it to the left side of his defense or to the right side. Or, best of it, he should make the clearance. If he can't make any accurate, quick pass, releasing the ball from his foot. He actually cost us last night with two mistakes, and one actually got him injured, if not for the medical team that actually intervened. And even while he was on the ground, he was calling for substitution. But after the medical team checked on him, he actually gave a thumbs up that he is good to go and can continue in the game. And that was as a result of hanging on the ball as a goalkeeper. It was not supposed to be. And I think Nwabali should take caution. Whenever he's given a pass, he is the goalkeeper. He should learn to release his ball very fast. Lots of talking points actually trailed that particular game last night. And one of it all was the VAR penalty call for the Gabon national team during a corner kick. Take a look at this picture footage. You actually notice there was a pull on the shirt of a Gabonese player in the box of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And there was a shout for penalty. The center referee was actually called by the VAR team. And at length, they actually had that discussion, deciding whether it's a penalty call or not. Not until the VAR gave the center referee the permission to go and view the VAR monitor and see the actions for himself. On getting there, lots of time was taken. The center referee stood there and was still analyzing the situation, and while communication was still going on with the VAR team. And in the end, after minutes of consultation in that particular game, because that was what resulted to 12 minutes of added time in that game after regulation time. The center referee and the VAR takes a decision that it wasn't a penalty. Now, here's my take. What I actually think, looking at that video footage and looking at the ball that was crossed. Now, the question to ask is, a lot of people will argue that it was a foul. In as much as there was a pull, it was a foul. I can't dispute that, because one thing I must say here is to analyze what I see, and I can't say what I don't know. I don't know more than the center referee, neither do I know more than the VAR. So, but was there a pull? Absolutely there was. Now, what you look at is, look at the ball that was crossed. The player that was pulled was a player in a position to connect with that ball, whether it will be headed in or over. I think the chances of that player getting to that ball was absolutely zero, in my opinion. And that was the more reason the South African referee actually made that decision, took that bold decision that it wasn't a penalty. And so, the penalty was not awarded. But one fact remained, which will continue to be a talking point. Was a player pulled on the shirt? Looking at the picture footage, you will say yes, there was a pull. But why was the penalty not given? I am just as curious as you. So what do you think by that VAR decision? Was it a penalty or not? Drop your thoughts down below. The second semi-final match, talking about the indomitable Lion of Cameroon and Congo Democratic Republic, went down immediately after the Super Eagles game. And it was indeed an attacking end-to-end football for both teams. But then, the presence of Brian Mbeumo and Andre Onana in between the stick for the Cameroonian national team was not just enough to secure them the ticket for the final. As Congo DR in the 90th plus 1 minute had a corner kick, and that was taken from the far left side of the pitch, and the captain of Congo connected that with a powerful left-footed strike and beat Onana into the net. So, Congo DR defeated the indomitable Lion of Cameroon by 1-0 and booked a final place in the playoff of the African World Cup Series against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, which will be played on the 16th of November 2025. So, the final is the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus Congo Democratic. So, what do you make of the games in the African playoff that went down last night? And in the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Panthers of Gabon, who was the star performer? Drop your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel as I leave you with this highlight of the game. Super Eagles, waiting they shell, waiting they happen, we won't know. Thank you guys. Catch you in my next video, and bye.